9Class is a 12k MMR rank 5 support player who is currently playing for Tundra along with Topson. His gameplay is really unique. He dominates almost every lane in pro games, even impossible ones, against players like Sep, Watson, and Puppey. I have been watching his games and learning from him a lot, therefore, I decided to share the things which looked very interesting to me. These concepts will help you improve your support lane understanding and gain MMR. Doom Tiny vs Lina Venge is a very one-sided matchup. Two ranged heroes are up against two melee heroes, and the lane is pretty much dead if you play it normally like every other lane, because the ranged heroes keep on attacking the melee heroes and keep their health so low that they won't even be able to come forward to contest creeps. On top of that, Ven's armor reduction spell will make it even worse. In such bad lanes, you can rely on dragging the wave to help your offlaner get something in lane. 9Class drags the wave, and while dragging, he makes sure to block the small camp with sentry. If you're dragging the wave, block the small camp, because if you don't block it, the enemy can simply pull the neutral camp to the wave you're dragging. And not only you will take damage while dragging, but also won't be able to have the wave following you, because the wave will start attacking the neutral camp and the lane will get even worse. Because of this wave drag, Doom is able to farm some creeps without getting any pressure from the enemy. The purpose of dragging the creep wave is that the wave comes near your tower where the enemy cannot harass you and you're in a safe spot. If any sort of pressure comes from the enemy, you can simply run into your tower. When you drag the wave, enemy team also has to deal with your wave, which has two outcomes. Either they bring your wave in their tower, in that case the tower will clear the creeps and you will have all the next wave close to your tower, which is good for you. Or the enemy will also keep running around with your creeps and join your wave with their next wave. That I'll discuss later in this video. You can keep dragging the early 2 to 3 waves close to your tower so you can get some experience in the lane, and this will help you to get something out of unplayable lanes. While dragging the wave, Tiny took a lot of damage. 9Class first courier usage was to get more tangos to have his health regenerated up in lane, and second time he's using courier to get a healing salve, which shows how 9Class values regen resources like tango, salve, clarity, and mango over having bigger items in lane. Staying in lane with low health will only stop you from doing anything useful and you won't even be a threat to the enemy. Therefore, start using courier effectively to get resources rather than saving gold to buy something big and ruining the lane. Because of the healing resources that he kept getting from courier, he's able to stay in lane and help his offlaner. Now, a counterplay to this lane dragging is that the enemy can also bring your wave to meet the wave you're dragging. When you see it happening, you can try to avoid it and bring the wave from some other direction. Make sure to stay inside of the creeps when you're trying to have the enemy creeps following you, because if they lose sight of your hero, they will de-aggro and start running back. Because of all this wave manipulation, now there are so many creeps in lane. If you ever meet such situation, just use your spells to push the wave into enemy's tower. With this much number of creeps from your side, enemy team will be forced to bring your wave into their tower, and then the tower can push the enemy's wave towards your side of the lane. Had Tiny just stayed in lane and tried to trade attacks with tree grab, this lane would never have turned out to be this good for Radiant. Now Doom is higher level than the enemy, and using it to their advantage, as soon as Venge gets a little out of position, they end up winning the lane that they should have lost based on the hero matchups. It's important to have a lane plan before going into the lane. Try to figure out heroes you're going to lane against based on enemy's pick and make a plan. If the plan works and you win the lane, then it's good. But if it doesn't work, then watch your replay and see what you could have done better and why didn't your plan work. Was it the plan that was bad or the execution? Learn from it and you will have a better understanding of the game. First of all, if you're on dire side, you can always check if enemy has a ward on this cliff or not simply by walking to tower's range between these trees. You don't have to stand there, just walk in and come back in a second. If the tower attacks you, it means enemy has a cliff ward, as tower has low vision as compared to its attack range during the night time. Tower will only hit you if you are under vision of the ward. There are other spots too where you can stand and see if it's warded or not, but this one is the safest as it's easier to go back from this spot and it will be hard for enemy heroes to run after you in case they are standing next to the cliff. Tekis and Centaur versus Bat Rider and Troll is slightly favorable for Dire. Centaur and Tekis both have high spell damage. Centaur has more attack damage than Troll, which means Centaur will have easier time taking creeps, And Tekis has more attack range than Troll and Bat Rider, which means it's going to be easier for Tekis to keep auto-attacking and harassing both enemy heroes in lane. There's one problem in this lane, and that is Bat Rider's Flame Break can stop Tekis' blast off. And if that happens, then the lane can go bad for Dire. As soon as the lane starts, he goes outside the creep aggro range, which is 500 units, and starts auto-attacking the enemy heroes. Attacking enemy heroes from outside creep aggro range is important, otherwise the creep starts following you and you take unnecessary damage in lane as well as ruin the creep equilibrium. Notice how he's playing in trees away from Bat Rider. That's because if he uses his blast off in front of Bat, it can ruin the initiation as Bat can cancel his spell and Radiant can take advantage of it. Just when Troll starts taking damage from creeps, he uses his opportunity to deal more damage to him by using his spell, and the only reason this play became possible was because he was playing the lane at correct position and waited for the right moment to jump. By correct position, I mean the position where Bat Rider doesn't get much time to react to cancel his blast off. Later on in this lane, Bat Rider gets a little out of position and gets punished for it. Most of the players, including me, would have used Blast Off to try and kill Bat Rider here, but 9Class, with his disciplined approach to the game, doesn't use his Blast Off to commit for a kill. That's because, as I mentioned earlier, if he uses his spell in front of Bat Rider, the spell can be cancelled by Flame Break, and Tekis will lose a lot of HP for no reason because then he'll find himself in a bad position, taking damage from Troll and creeps. From this disciplined play of not using his spells unnecessarily, you can learn that there are some things in Dota that your hero cannot do, such as Tekis using Blast Off in front of Bat Rider. So you shouldn't force your hero to try and do what your hero cannot do, because it will only make the game hard for you. Doom Marcy versus TB Venge is a matchup that can go both ways, but for the early levels, it is slightly favorable for TB and Venge, because Doom and Marcy both are melee heroes, and anytime they are gonna try to secure the range creep, they will get punished by TB's reflection and Venge's wave of terror. While everyone is busy fighting for bounty runes, 9Class solves their securing range creep problem by going to the first wave and killing the range creep even before the laning stage starts. This is a very high value play and it saved Radiant's offlane from being punished during the laning stage. Doom and Marcy need to survive the lane till level 2 or 3 and then they can get aggressive because they both have spells that can be used to run on enemy hero. But getting to level 2 and 3 is the hardest part because TB and Venge can apply early game pressure and make it hard for Radiant to get their levels. Again, block small camp and drag the wave to survive the early game without any pressure. Laning as two melee heroes against ranged hero is usually hard. To avoid getting a scenario where you feel completely lost about what to do in lane, you can help your offlaner by dragging waves like this and blocking small camp. Once you have given a good start to your offlane that he is able to survive the lane on his own, now you're good to rotate on map and help your other lanes. As I mentioned earlier, this lane is only hard for the first few levels. As soon as Doom hits level 3, they use it to their advantage and get a kill on TB because Marcy and Doom also have enough magical damage to deal with Terror Blade if they get on top of him. It is another example of doing what your hero can do and playing to the strengths and timers of the hero. Initially, the Radiant side was weak so they played it defensively, but as soon as they hit their levels, they made proper use of it. Tiny DP versus Monkey Line is a matchup which can go both ways as well, but it is slightly in favor of Tiny and DP. Monkey is initially weak and cannot man-fight DP and Tiny because of their high physical and magical damage. Monkey's level 1 of Jingu is weak, he needs at least 2 levels into Jingu Mastery to be able to fight these heroes. On the other hand, Lion also cannot provide much value if Monkey is weak. In such matchups where he has an advantage going into the lane, he pressures the enemy as much as he can using his spells and landing attacks while trading his own health and later on getting healing stuff to recover and continue to pressure. Regardless of the matchup, one thing which 9Class is consistently doing in his laning phase is not trying to aim for big items but using Courier to get Mango, Clarity, Salve and Sentry to have the most value out of laning stage. You should only drag waves if you are in a hard matchup, usually two melee heroes against ranged heroes in lane. When you're playing ranged hero, you don't really have to drag the wave because you can just stay in lane and harass the enemy with your auto attacks and spells. I hope this was helpful for you. If you're looking to improve your game understanding in any role, I offer private coaching which can help you improve your skills and achieve higher rank. If you're interested, you can join my Discord linked in description. Please make sure to subscribe and like the video. Do let me know if you have any feedback. Otherwise, good luck with your games and have a nice day.